Hey, how you doing? It's Brian. I just want to talk to everybody about a little bit about treat selection or reward selection in general. So if you have a dog that's more toy reward than food reward, that's always the best way to go, only because the interaction with you is the way to go. You can really play with different drives or motivation, or the dog's going to feed more off you if you're able to engage a lot in a toy. But if you are food reward, which could work better for some dogs, it just all depends on your dog. I brought various different types of rewards just so we can talk a little bit about what the different types. So the first one is just a regular food based. First of all, I don't endorse any specific brand that I have here. It's just something that I picked up at the store just so I can kind of talk about each one. So this you'll have to cut up pretty small, because the key is just you want to be able to just give a little bit of a reward, move on with your next rep. Give a little bit of a reward, move on with your next rep. So this is pretty good. You just have to cut it up really small, you know what I mean? So the key is that it's soft, it's pliable. If you leave it out too long, it's going to get hard. So that has a tendency to go bad on you. You have to watch your expiration dates, as you would with anything. But the second different type would be a more harder type of treat. I don't really recommend the use of a hard treat, only because it's going to take your dog too long to chew it. If you're doing something like a heel in motion or something like that, and you give your dog a hard treat, they may stop, drop it, or they may stop chew, or they may chew, but then you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for another repetition to begin. So the next one is more of a kind of medium between the soft, the really soft, and then the hard. And it's just this specific one I just use as just a general everyday treat for my dog when we're not training, you know, just something to kind of give them, to motivate them to do something different. That's not bad. Again, they're going to just take too long to chew it. It's a little bit too big of a piece. And when I say too big of a piece, I'll take one out so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Like, this is generally too big. I'd probably cut this specific piece in half. And these Blue Buffalo treats, this is what I use for pretty much everything. They're really good because of the size, because of the how soft they are. Dogs can just kind of chew them, move on, chew them, move on. So you'll see the size difference between the two. And this is a really good size treat for pretty much any breed. You can load your treats, and we can go into how to load your treats when you're doing different types of events. But if you need to give a bigger piece, you can just give a couple more pieces of those versus a bigger treat. Again, just because of the time it takes to chew it. That's really the main factor, is it's just going to slow your training down if you're using a hard treat or too big. I always advocate for different types of rewards that aren't food-based, like your Kongs or your balls or something like that, just because there's way more engagement with you and your dog, and that's kind of what we're going for here, is the relationship between the two of you, because that's really what it's all about. Then there's the, I guess, time-consuming treats, which is like the peanut butter to fill your Kongs with. That's really good if you have a dog that does a lot of destructive things in the house. Just kind of keeps them occupied. You may stuff your Kongs. If you go on the website, there's tons of different recipes, and that's great, because you can choose the one that's better for your dog, that takes more time, or makes them think a little bit more, and then some of that destructive behavior may stop. So just going over those treats real quick. Again, if you sign up, you get in touch with me, we'll talk about which treat is actually best for you and your dog, and we'll go from there. But that's just a general overall about treat selection. Again, always go for whatever is going to be better for you and your dog. Thanks.